Hey, Facebook. Hey, you guys, come on in. We are ready to get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. You are tuned into Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards taking action. And I am excited. It is Motivational Monday. Today, we're going to be talking about the mental residue that cancer leaves behind. We all know that cancer leaves behind residue. So we're going to discuss today. So join us. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook. I encourage you to hit that share button, and invite others in on the video. If you yourself has suffered a cancer diagnosis, or you know someone who has, then you know that there is residue that is left behind once they give you that all clear sign. So today, the show is actually going to be sponsored by Mary Kay with Gloria Dotson, and she's catering to you from head to toe. You can actually go to her website at www.marykay.com/GODTSON. I also encourage you to stay connected with me on all forms of social media. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. All you have to do is type in @WarriorsTalk1 and you can reach me. You can also email me at warriorstalk1@gmail.com for show ideas, or if you know someone who would be an awesome guest on the show that wants to share their testimony. To keep up with everything that's going on with Warriors Talk, you can always go to the website, which is warriorstalk.org. And we would love to hear from you. So call in at 312-754-4333. This show is actually dedicated to Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you know someone who's dealing with a mental health diagnosis, or if you know someone who's the caregiver of someone who has a mental health diagnosis, make sure that you keep them in your prayers. Our healing verses coming from Psalm 62, 5 and 7. Yes, my soul finds rest in God. My hope comes from him. Truly, he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depends on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Amen. Thank you guys again for tuning in on Facebook. I appreciate you. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Angela. Thank you guys. Hey, Nate. Hey, Jay. Hey, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if you are just tuning in, share the video, like the video, invite others in on the video. I'm going to have warriors calling in on today, and they're going to be very transparent, and they're going to be talking about, again, mental residue that cancer leaves behind. Just like you take care of your body physically, when you're done with treatment, you have to take care of the mental as well. According to research, it says that 10% of cancer survivors feel they have poor mental health, compared to only 6% of adults with a history of chronic illnesses. They are most likely to have mental health problems and poor quality of life. Age, educational level, income, marital status, and other factors can affect cancer survivors' risk for mental health problems and poor quality of life. So again, I'm going to have warriors calling in on the show, and they're going to be telling you about how they're dealing with the mental residue that cancer leaves behind. So I believe I have a caller online right now. Hello.
Hello, Lady ReShell.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. This is Angela Gilliam.
Hello, Angela Gilliam. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you taking time out to share this information with us. I know this information, you can be very vulnerable when it comes to the mental part of sharing. So I appreciate you just being willing to educate the people about the mental residue that cancer leaves behind. So tell me this, Angela, how many years do you have in as a cancer survivor?
This year makes 9.
Oh, 9 years. Awesome. And we know that according to statistics, they say that you're not a survivor until you hit year 5. So Angela has 9 years in. With 9 years in, Angela, I know that you have seen and dealt with mental residue that cancer leaves behind. Share with us.
The mental residue that cancer brings when you're diagnosed, you automatically have fear, grief, sadness, emotional turmoil, and also all that ties into mental health. Mental health, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're insecure, you deal with insecurity after you've done all your treatment because you become dependent upon others being around you, depending on how strong you are.
That's so true. A lot of times when you're going through the appointments, the scans, and you're just going through all of the follow-up, you're so used to that routine. And then all of a sudden, when you're done with everything, it's like, okay, it's like somebody pushed you off the cliff and you're hanging there wondering, where do I go from here?
You worry yourself till you forget who you are and you lose yourself. But that's when prayer comes in.
Mm.
And you ask God to show you yourself. What does He want you to do from here on out?
Yes.
And from there, you listen to the Holy Spirit and follow and do what God has for you to do. You can't go wrong. And you can always be a blessing to the next person that's going through it. The battle.
That's true.
Of treatment.
Now we know that going through, you mentioned God, you mentioned praying. We know in the church sometimes seeking mental health is taboo. They say, well, just pray. And then where's your faith? If you have to go and get treatment or you have to go see someone about some issues that you're dealing with that's going on in your head, that means that you're not trusting God. That means that you don't have faith. What would you say to someone who says that, who says, where's your faith that you don't trust God enough to deal with the mental residue?
What will I say? I was telling her to look around at others. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people, you have to show them. They can't think from the spiritual aspect, so they have to see another survivor.
Yes. So when you see another survivor and they share another cancer survivor, a lot of times I've noticed within our circle, we share about the mental residue. But I've spoken with other cancer survivors, not necessarily breast cancer survivors, and they don't mention anything about the mental residue that's left behind. And I'm just wondering is it a shame that's associated with it because you're feeling like you're left with something else to deal with other than side effects? I mean, that's one of the side effects. We know that it comes with other side effects such as like chemo brain or neuropathy. Those are different things that we're dealing with. But it seems like when it comes to the mental health portion of it, the doctors don't even deal with it. I mean, they treat you physically. But while they're treating you physically, the mental health should also be included in that. For me, I know it wasn't. Was it included for you?
The mental health wasn't included. Because a lot of people are not told about the mental aspect of it. They're not told that they can get an appointment to talk with a psychologist or psychiatrist. They're not told that. And it depends on where you get your treatment. Where do you go to get your treatment?
Was it even offered to you? Did they offer it like when you were in the middle of treatment or once you were done with treatment? Was it ever offered to you like, are you having any issues? Do you need someone to talk to?
It was offered to me afterwards when I talked about it. And after it was offered to me when I completed my treatment, I was still in denial of what happened to me. and what I went through.
Did you say after treatment you were in denial?
That's when the counseling was offered to me after I finished treatment.
So after you finished treatment. So when were you in denial? At the beginning?
I was in denial. I was unconscious in my mind the whole time because I couldn't believe it was happening to me.
It's like you're going through this tunnel, and the only thing that you really can think about is treatment and how, let me hurry up and get through this so I can get these cancer cells out of my body. And you don't think about the mental time because you don't have time. You're so focused on treatment. You don't have time. But then when you're done with everything, you come crashing down, and you sit back when you actually have time to think about it. Tracy says
go ahead. The only thing I thought about, I never thought about myself. The only thing I thought about was my children. And my physician told me, if you don't think about yourself, you can't be any good, or you won't be any good to your children. So we must first learn to think about self, and then our children, and then our family members.
That's true. I mean, I guess as women, that's what women do. We normally think about everybody else, and we always leave ourselves for last. I just want to read a comment. Tracy KK says, she says, you go through so much that you can't remember everything, and you don't need to know everything. She goes, the stages are the journey. Some things I agree. Some things you don't want to remember. Some things I blocked out purposely. Mm-hmm. So yes, purposely, so that
definitely.
So that when I was done.
But we as survivors, we have to think about the after effect more so than anything, because we're suffering in silence, and we think we're really not, and we really are.
Suffering in silence. Why do you think that is? We tell them that we have the cancer diagnosis. Why can't we tell them about what's going on mentally?
Because there's a feeling of shame of what you experienced, what you went through, not looking the same, not feeling the same. For those who had to have a mastectomy, or those who have had a double mastectomy, for those who deal with neuropathy, and some people deal with chemo brain very severely.
Yeah.
And they become shamed and insecure, and they don't talk about it. And they're really suffering in silence. And they're dying on the inside.
I totally
And that's not a good feeling. So I would love for all of them, not just breast cancer survivors, but any cancer survivor, to be free of that, so that they can set someone else free.
Oh, wow.
And not have to suffer in silence.
I like that. Free yourself so you won't have to suffer in silence. When you free yourself, you can help someone else be set free as well, Angela says. According to statistics, it says cancer survivors who are depressed are twice likely to die prematurely as those who are not depressed. So we're hoping, it says cancer survivors who are depressed are twice as likely to die prematurely as those who are not depressed.
That's true. Because they give up. They don't fight.
You think they give up by them keeping it to themselves, but if they were to open their mouths and let others in to help, then you think they won't have that issue?
work. It could go both ways, to be honest.
I totally agree. If you are just tuned in to Warriors Talk, we are talking to Angela Gilliam. She is a 9-year breast cancer survivor, and she is talking about the mental residue as it relates to a cancer diagnosis. Angela, I'm going to place you on hold for a moment. Do not hang up, okay?
Okay.
All right. I have another caller on hold. Hello.
Hey, ReShell, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Who am I speaking with?
Shiana.
Shiana, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for calling in. Shiana is
No
calling
problem.
in because we're talking about the mental residue that cancer leaves behind, that cancer diagnosis leaves behind. And I know you know all too well of dealing with the mental residue. So share with us.
Yes, so, well, I'll just start off with, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer when I was 25. That was in 2013, so I just made 5 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So, the mental part, I would have to say that I definitely agree. I listened to some of the talking that you did with the young lady, and I agree. We do tend to sometimes suffer in silence and not mentioning things about the depression. For a while, I didn't say anything about it because I felt like, okay, I'm fine. It's normal to feel this way. But then it started kind of getting to the point where I wasn't doing anything. I was just be in the room, lay down, sleep all day. I wouldn't let no light in the room or anything. And I just got to thinking to myself, like, this isn't normal. This isn't right. So I definitely decided to go see somebody and talk to somebody about it. And it helped me a lot to actually sit down and talk to somebody about it. And of course, they prescribed me medication, and then I didn't want to tell nobody about that either. I don't know, like me.
Do you feel like it's a
personally,
stigma? Shiana, do you feel like it's a stigma that comes along with the mental portion of it?
I think that a lot of people don't know that we go through that part. I think they think that once you're not taking medication as much or going to chemotherapy because you don't look a certain way, or you're just over, once you finish the cancer treatment, you're done.
Right.
And that's it. And that's not the truth. Because then you have to think about people that have anxiety, which in the cancer world we call skin anxiety. Because, you know, you go on with some scans and you're worried about, oh my God, are they going to find something else or something like that. And then you have the people with mastectomies. Sometimes they don't feel right. They don't feel themselves anymore. They feel that that part as a woman is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to have a mastectomy, so I can't really understand how a woman would feel that way. But I did lose my hair and everything, and my hair didn't grow back.
You said
I have a little bit.
Oh wow.
But it's not what it used to be,
Mm-hmm.
and I still struggle with that. It's been 5 years, but I still struggle with that to this day because I miss my hair. I love my hair, and that was something that was taken away from me, as well as kids. I'm told that I can't have children.
Oh, okay. So
I struggle with that part every day.
That's a big residue that you're dealing with.
Yes, it is.
Because how old are you right now?
I just made 30.
Oh wow! So you just made 30, and so by now, you probably would have had a kid or two.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you're moving about your life, and you see everybody else planning and getting married and having kids,
Having children.
Right. And people don't really think about. They tell you when you're taking certain medicines, you can't have any more kids. They told me the same thing. I mean, I had kids before, but they was like, if you're planning on having any more babies, you're not going to be able to. So you know, once you start taking this chemo, you're not going to be able to.
I didn't even get that. I didn't even get the liberty at that.
Oh, wow.
She didn't talk to me about it or nothing. They just went straight into treatment, and that was that. And my doctor was just like, oh, well, you have nieces and nephews, right? It's like, okay,
that's not the same.
I want children. That's not right. Exactly. It's not the same. So I would have liked if I would have had the opportunity at first to talk about it, if I wanted that for myself, instead of just going straight into the treatment. But I understand that my life was more valuable at that time, and they needed to do what they had to do to make sure that I was still alive.
Right. Wow. Like I said, that right there that's a big shock. It's a big blow, especially that they didn't discuss it with you ahead of time. And when you fast forward, you think about the anxiety, you think about the fear, you think about depression, you think about the stress of it all, just having to deal with it. Some people have panic attacks.
I had plenty of those. I've had a lot of them end up in the emergency room. I thought that I couldn't breathe, thought I was about to die. And they're just like, oh no, you're having a panic attack or you're having anxiety. That's when I learned what that was, how it felt.
Wow. Tracy says, therapy, yoga, massage, acupuncture is offered to breast cancer survivors for free through Susan G. Coleman. You can go through Northwestern Hospital or Rush. If you want to call in and share your mental residue, you can. It's 312-754-4333. Wow. You do have an amazing, amazing story right now. You do. I'm just so proud of you, just to see everything that you're going through and for you to still remain positive. Not only that, I see that you are also reaching back to help other women, young women who are going through as well. So even though you have your own issues, you're paying it forward to other women who are going through so you can kind of guide them and show them the way.
Yes, I advocate through an organization called Living Beyond Breast Cancer. And once a month, I go up, me and my friend Shanette, we do a table at University of Chicago. And we do that for a few hours to try to get people to sign up so that they can be more knowledgeable about the breast cancer and living beyond it, basically just knowing what to do and talking to people about it. They have some conferences. There's so much information to gather, and I like passing on that information because I think that in the African American, we don't really discuss a lot of our illnesses in our family and stuff. Yep. And we tend to keep those things to ourselves. But I would like for all of us to just come together and let everybody, let the people in our family know, educate each other. Yes. So that we know about this. Because it affects us the most, actually.
It does.
The young African American women, because I didn't know that I would get diagnosed with breast cancer at 25. I thought you don't have a mammogram until you're like 50, 40. So I just like to educate people about it as much as I can.
And education is the key. My slogan here is away from awareness towards action. So we don't want to always concentrate on being aware, but we want to educate them, empower them, and at the same time we want to encourage action. So I really appreciate you, Shanna. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your journey. And just know that this will not be the last time you hear from her and everything that she's going through. Thank you for being very transparent.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Okay, I think I have another caller online. Okay. Yes, we have another caller on the line. Hello, this is Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Lady ReShell. This is Jackie Hollis for Panton.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I am
It's a great
doing
program.
well. Thank you so much. And you have some good information to share with us as well.
I do. I'm calling because I wanted to share a fantastic fundraising that I am sponsoring along with Vicki McClure and Heather Schooler. And we are doing this fundraiser in the name of friendship and service. We are having a fundraiser for the Staven House, a homeless shelter for women and children, predominantly African American and Hispanic families. And the Staven House is located in Waukegan, Illinois. The women and children are the fastest growing homeless population, comprising about 43% of all individuals in need of shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Your donation will help us make this Mother's Day special for the moms at the Staven House. The women there have lived there, have been dealt a really rough blow. And they stay at the Staven House to rebuild a life for themselves and their children. We are providing each mom a Mother's Day package with toiletries such as toothpaste, toothbrush, soap, bath towels, shampoo, conditioner, and items for their children such as baby powder, lotion, baby wipes, and diapers. As you can see, these are just the simple necessities of life. And these are items that the women themselves have requested for Mother's Day. Any donations that your Warrior Talk fans can provide will be greatly appreciated. They can go online to www.gofundme.com and type in the search box Staven House, STABEN, and then House, HOUSE, or they can call 312-544-9335 for more information on how they can help.
Awesome.
And I'd like to leave you, Lady ReShell, as well as your Warrior Talk fans and your guests, a passage from Hebrews 6:10, which states, God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. Amen. And Lady ReShell, thank you for helping God's people and for being a voice for God.
You
I
are so
appreciate
welcome.
you. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Jacqueline. I will post the information on my page, so if anyone wants to donate, you will be able to do so. Thank you again. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to Charles Jenkins, Fellowship Chicago, with This Means War. All right, Facebook, I am on break really quick. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much, Yana. You are such a blessing. I am always encouraged by you. You're a young woman, and even though you have this cancer diagnosis, it does not stop you from living. It doesn't stop you from helping everyone else around you who is going through. You are reaching back and you are pulling other women with you, and that is to be commended. So keep doing what you do, and I pray that God continues to heal you, and he heals your mind as well as your body as well. The T Lady checking in, great cause. Hey T Lady, thank you for checking in. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for tuning in. PaulaKelly says, I really need my support group. You know, we do need our support group. A lot of times we don't utilize them. They are around. If you have been a cancer patient, they have them at whatever center you went to. You can get the information from there. I do have an individual by the name of Virgie who has Matters of the Heart, and you can go to mattersoftheheart.org, and she also has a cancer support group. It's totally up to you however you want to do it. I did not do cancer support group, and the only reason why is because I had an awesome support team around me. I had my family, I had my church family, and I had individuals who already had went through a breast cancer diagnosis that was able to sit me down and share with me the individual things, you know, that was going on as far as the physical that I was going to be going through, and also the mental residue that I was going to be going through. The mental residue, let me tell you, is no joke. I deal with, and I don't really say what I deal with. I deal with chemo brain. Angela, I know you're still on hold. Give me Give me 1 second. I deal with chemo brain. And I don't tell anybody. Sometimes I have conversations. I write things down a lot. So sometimes if I'm having a conversation and I may forget what I'm saying. And then sometimes to play it off, I'll change the conversation. I'll change it, or I may ask you to repeat it. I deal with neuropathy in my feet. And when it happened, it could be debilitating. It stops you from walking, and you just have to sit until it passes. It could be very painful. So those are two things that I don't really talk about that I go through. Mentally, Tracy says she does too. Mentally, it's not a good thing. Mentally, I think if I wasn't involved in church, I think if I didn't have a relationship with God and know that He's a healer. Whenever I'm going through and my mental wants to start playing games, I always just say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for healing me. And I always go to the scriptures, and we have to read his word back to him, because his word doesn't come back void. A lot of times, you try to handle it on your own. I'm telling you, I had an encounter with God where I was trying to handle it myself, and the song Let Go and Let God came on for me, and God was like, you can't handle this on your own. You need to let go and let God. And not only let go and let God, but let those around you help as well, and let the people who are educated help you. Seek out someone that's able to help you. If your doctor doesn't offer for you to get help, then you ask your doctor about it. Ask your doctor about getting some help if the doctor doesn't mention it to you. People commit suicide after a cancer diagnosis, during a cancer diagnosis. People commit suicide because it becomes too much. It becomes too much. And so I don't want anybody. The reason why I do this show is because I don't want anybody to have a cancer diagnosis. I really don't. I don't want anybody to have a cancer diagnosis. Shiana says, yes, I had to learn to be vulnerable and asking for help. We have to ask for help. We have to forget the taboo in the African American community that pray. Yeah, you pray, but pray. The prayer and faith without works is dead. So when you pray, you have to do the work behind it. You can pray and sit there all day, and yeah, God will move. But what are you doing? What are you doing? So we have to seek out. We have to forget the stigma that's attached to seeking help, that you're crazy or that you're weak. Like Shiana said, be vulnerable. Be vulnerable, because it's for your good. It's for your good. And if you know somebody who went through a cancer diagnosis and you know that they're not acting the same, when you come out of a cancer diagnosis, you're not the same. You're not the same person in your body physically, and you're not the same person mentally. You have to learn how to be a total different person, because now I have to deal with this for the rest of my life. So you guys, we're going to come back off of the break. Again, this is Lady ReShell with Warriors Talk, where we move away from awareness towards action. And we are coming off of our break. I thank you guys for tuning in on Facebook. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Terrence. Tracy says it's a lot, and sometimes I just want to sleep into eternity, but I have work to do. Tracy, you are not telling the story. I feel the same way, but I'm like, Lord, is this what you want me to be doing? Are we back? All right, so we are coming back. I just want to remind you guys, I have some housekeeping really quick. You all know that I have a book that's coming out along with 7 other authors, which is You Are Unstoppable. Moving from Past to Purpose. And it is headed by Coach Terrence Leffridge. I encourage you all to register by going to bit.ly/past to purpose to register. But if you cannot wait, then go to warriorstalk.org and you can pre-order your book. So I want you guys to get it, because it deals with my cancer journey. I talk about God positioning me for purpose. I talk about dying inside, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I talk about finding my reasons to live, all while God was positioning me. So I encourage you guys to get the book. Shiana says, I remember saying I want to die because I hate that. Hold on, let me go back. Because I hate that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. My body was changing. I was in pain, but God kept me. I thank God for getting me this far. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Okay, we have a new caller. Hello? Hello. Okay, I think we have a new caller coming online. So I thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you share. Thank you, Coach T, for putting that information up. Yes, if you want to order the book, go to warriorstalk.org and you can pre-order that book for only $14.95. Hello, do we have a caller on the line? Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to Warriors Talk. Okay. While we're waiting on our caller to come. Okay. We're having a little technical difficulties. Hello, caller. This is Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. How are you? Nope. Okay. While my engineer is getting that together, I want to make sure that if you know somebody who's going through a cancer diagnosis, make sure that you are checking on them mentally. We check on them physically, but we don't check on them mentally. Is the caller ready? Hello, this is Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. No. So I'm going to keep going. She said, God kept me so that you could share your story. He said, oh, Cheyenne. Yes, and Cheyenne was 25 when she was diagnosed. Like she said, when you think about being diagnosed with a cancer diagnosis, you're thinking about the age where they say you should go and get tested, which is age 40, right? And so at 25, the last thing that you're thinking about is being diagnosed with cancer at the age of 25. Not only that, Shiana said that she can't have any kids, and that was not discussed with her before going through a cancer diagnosis, and she know that they were only trying to save her life. And so that's one of the residues that she has to deal with for the rest of her life. And we don't think about that. We think about, oh, they're done with the physical. We don't think about what everybody is going through mentally. Patients deal with anxiety, we deal with depression, and we deal with the different quality of life. Your quality of life has changed. And you have to they always say, get used to your new normal. Well, what is that new normal? That new normal is if you had a double mastectomy, now you don't have breasts. Shiana said her hair didn't grow back all the way. Thank God my hair did, but for everybody that doesn't happen. Is our caller ready? Hello, this is Warrior Talk with Lady ReShell. Who do I have on the line?
This is Candy Lucas, Lady ReShell. How are you?
Hello, Candace Lucas. I am doing well. Let me just tell y'all about Candace Lucas. First of all, she is a sponsor. She is a sponsor of Warriors Talk. And the name of her company is RID Alert, and that's RID Alert. You can go to ridalert.com. She is your online and in-store pest control. Let me say that again. Quality pest control company. So go to ridalert.com. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. I really appreciate you.
Oh, well, peace and blessings, my sisters. And you know I love your work.
I know. I love
it. It is so important. And we need advocacy at all levels.
We do.
We do. So you asked me to speak to people about my mental state during cancer.
Yes.
Okay, so I went through denial for about the first 2 months. I just couldn't wrap my head around, I'm here, I don't control anything, and I just have to be obedient to doctors. And I finally had my mental health moment where I was overwhelmed. It's a lot of information to process. It's a lot of things to do. It's a lot of choices and decisions to make quickly. So I had my mental health moment where I realized that I need to go to God because this is beyond my scope. I I just have to rely on what I've always was taught, and that was faith.
Mm-hmm.
That is a walk of faith. And I realized that your mental health has a lot to do with your outcomes. You have to find the laughter and the peace in all of it, because it's a bunch of chaos. And I had to find that for myself. I've met other women, and we all end up on this road of acceptance and gratitude. And I've worked with Virgie at Matters of the Heart, and I've met some wonderful women, and I met you through Virgie.
Yes.
And we need this because these are the only group of people that understand what you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy. I mean, it's like trying on a fabulous pair of Louboutins that you want to walk and run in,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to do a bunch of baby steps until the shoe breaks into your foot and you can walk your journey. And this is 8 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even realize this year was 8 years.
Wow.
But I never went back to my previous life because I have a new body. And I have a new metabolism. I have a new immune system. So I had to learn how to listen to my body. And when my body says, I'm tired,
Mm-hmm.
I rest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of this walk, is that learning what you did before, you probably won't go back to it. The hair is different. The skin is different. Everything is different after chemo.
Wow. You have to get used to your new normal.
Whatever that is for you.
Because it's different for every survivor or
And
thriver.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And with me, it was a lot of laughter. God sent me so much laughter
Mm-hmm.
from just different people, from people asking me questions. Like the favorite one was, are you going to die?
Oh, wow.
Well, let's think about that. We all going to do that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know when it's going to happen?
Right.
To, what do you do without your hair? Live? So there were a lot of things that people say, and they mean well,
Mm-hmm.
but I would find laughter in this going, is this the absurd or ridiculous? But it helped me, because I walked away laughing going, wow, you asked me a question that I don't control. So I learned a lot of that during cancer, is that people, they don't mean to be cruel, and they don't mean to be offensive. They just don't know what to say to you.
Exactly.
I want to say something positive, but I don't know where your headspace is, and I don't know what cancer is like.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say something, and the questions that they would ask or the things that they would say to try to encourage you would just be way out of the scope. So you have to find people that love you and will make you laugh and will make you fight.
Yes.
Because the motivation to go to chemo for your every 14 days or every week, that is a difficult day. That's not a happy day at all. And then 24 to 48 hours, there you have this feeling where you have no energy. You're tired. You're irritable. I want to eat, but I can't taste food. I want to go out, but I don't want you looking at me as if we having a funeral next week.
Wow.
And people don't realize it. Because, okay, your skin gets darker.
Yes.
It's not the same skin, no matter how much makeup you put on. Your hair is gone, and you're sitting at somebody's party, and everybody's laughing, and then they look over at you like, oh, I'm sorry.
You looking like that, like she about to kill
Right,
her.
it's like, do I look that bad? So you have to learn how to laugh to keep from crying, because the laughter is really good for the soul. And it's good medicine for the soul.
Yes, it is.
Sitting around having the pity party, it didn't work for me. Because I didn't know what I should be feeling, and I didn't know who I could talk to. And there were organizations out there, but there was no one that just grabbed my hand. And you need it, because I don't know how I should feel. I don't know what things I could eat.
Right.
My feet are burning because of chemo.
Yes.
I don't know who to call. So I kind of went through it in the dark.
Oh, wow.
At the end of it is when I met other women that made it over. So then I could laugh with them about, did you go through this? And then afterwards is when you find out all the residue of chemo.
Yes.
And like the young lady was talking about, yes, there are some of us that was told, kids are out of the question. And I didn't have any. I wasn't planning any. But just to hear I can't, it's like, really? That's sad.
Devastating, yes.
And with me, because my breast cancer was hormonal, I had to have a hysterectomy.
Oh, wow.
So it was permanent. And I went a year. Can't we do something else? I can take additional medicine. It was just, I didn't want another surgery, and I didn't want to give it up. And finally, I realized that it could kill me. So I just conceded that it's for the best, and I went through the hysterectomy. But you give up a lot to live.
You do. You totally do. But we don't have to do it alone. So I'm glad that, Candace, that you are sharing your story, because other people who are going through need to know that, yes, you're going to have mental residue, but it's not the end all be all. You can still get through it. But don't keep it to yourself. You don't have to manage it alone. Don't suffer in silence either. Reach out. Reach out for help. You said Matters of the Heart. Matters of the Heart is by Virgie. And is it mattersoftheheart.org?
I believe so.
Okay, I'll post that information on my page too. It's a support group, and Virgie she's a phenomenal woman. I love Virgie. She's always including me in on things that are going on in the community. Candy, I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being transparent and sharing how the mental residue of cancer exists, but it does not have to take away the laughter in your soul. So thank you so much.
But the last thing I'll say to you in closing, for a lot of us, it births purpose.
Yes, it did.
We don't waste any more time.
No, we don't.
We all have went and did things we didn't conceive of before. I never thought of myself as an advocate or as a pest control. But cancer made me find something that I can do to leave my legacy.
And legacy is important when you're dealing with cancer. You have something that you can leave behind. Candace, I thank you so much. Candy, thank you so much. I'm wrapping up the show. I will go ahead and post Matters of the Heart. And also, I'm going to post your information, because she is a sponsor on Warriors Talk, so that you all can visit her at her store. So Warriors, remember to keep thriving while surviving. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you next week.